Hi everybody! In this lesson we're going to be exploring the stream in Google Classroom. Now, in the previous version of Google Classroom, the stream is where everything was. This is where your announcements, your assignments, your questions, everything was in one ever-moving stream of information. Now, with some teacher feedback, it did show that it was difficult to navigate, especially when you got later in the year. Lots of subjects later, lots of assignments later. You were really having to scroll to see if you could find your materials. There wasn't a great way to search Google Classroom. So now with the update, what has happened is the stream is for your announcements and class discussions and all of that piece. Your classwork is where your assignments can be organized via topics. You're going to see that in the next lesson. So the stream is a great place for you to be able to post a class discussion, for you to make an important announcement about some upcoming field trip perhaps, or school-wide event, or even just to post an exit ticket for students. Now, in the previous lesson, you noticed that we set the settings for who can post and comment. This is going to affect the stream. So if you've locked down your classroom so that your students cannot post and comment, then only the teacher will be able to put anything in the stream. They'll simply be reading that information. However, if you do have it so that students can make some comments, then the teacher can post something, the kids can respond. And finally, you can also leave it so students can post a comment, and this is where they could create maybe a question of discussion, perhaps maybe about a novel study or a scientific concept, and we want them to be able to look at that. So we're going to play around in the stream and just show you how with one click of a button is how you post in the stream. But it's a little hidden. We were used to that plus button in the bottom right-hand corner, and that's now gone. So let me show you the stream. Stream is the first thing you're going to see when you get into your new Google Classroom view. And so what you'll notice here is I do have some things in my stream. It's ever moving. You can see things that I posted at the end of August all the way till now. And you'll notice that there's some little icons that go along with it beside it. And so here we can see, when we see a little clipboard, that is simply an assignment that I've posted, and so there is automatically an announcement created for you in the stream. Same, there's some materials that have been posted. All of that is in the Classwork tab. These loose ones that you see here towards the bottom, these are simply just announcements that I've created and posted in the stream. Now, how you post in the stream, that's that hidden part because there's no more plus button. Right here you can see at the top, whoever's in the classroom, if they have permissions to share in the stream, they will see their icon with the words, share something with your class. So whether you're a teacher or a student, this is what you would see. As soon as you click that, right away, you're able to make that announcement that you wanted to be able to make. So it could be an announcement, it could be a question, it could be anything. So in this case, I want to be able to create a question where my students are able to engage in an academic debate. So I have a question for them. Should students wear school uniforms? What is your opinion? What I can do is I have some options to be able to attach to any of my announcements that I put here in my Google Classroom. The paperclip is simply an attachment like we're used to where we're inserting files from our computer. The Drive button opens up your Google Drive so that you can insert a file. Perhaps you have a Google Doc or you have a set of slides or anything that you want to be able to add for them. You can add a YouTube video with the URL, and you can also add a link to an outside site. So what I've done is I have understanding the pros and cons of school uniforms. So I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it here in my classroom and I'm going to add it. Note that you can add as many materials as you want. You're not restricted, so you don't have to put one material with one announcement. I could have a link and a video and something from my Google Drive, no problem, all in one announcement. Also note that I can make an announcement to one of my Google Classrooms, or I can make it to multiple classrooms at one time. This is fantastic for if you're teaching multiple sections of the same subject and you want to be able to make that announcement. Like perhaps you're talking about an upcoming examination, or you want to talk about the Christmas concert that's coming up and here's some practice music, whatever that may be. Because we recommended in our beginning lesson, break your classrooms up small. You don't want to put all the sections of science you teach and put all 100 kids in there. Really break that up. And this is a great way to be able to save the teacher workload by not having to make this post in this classroom, then go open your other classroom, make the same announcement, make the same announcement. Also, you'll notice here, I can make this announcement to everyone in my classroom, or I can select the students. Now I only have 2 students in my classroom, but if you had your full list of students, you would be able to choose which students get that announcement. So a bit of a pro tip for you, this is a nice way to be able to set up a bit of group work. So if I want to be able to make an announcement or perhaps a discussion topic for a specific group of students, I can do that. And then their stream will look different from the stream of the other groups that I'm assigning it to. So it is really handy to be able to personalize. It doesn't have to be one size fits all here in the classroom. So now that I'm done that, I can go ahead and I can post this immediately to the stream. But just note that you also have the option of scheduling. This is really great because if we want to be able to work ahead in our Google Classrooms, and yet we don't want our students necessarily engaging in that discussion yet or answering any questions, we're trying to work during our prep or we're trying to work at night, I can go ahead and I can schedule exactly when I want that announcement to be able to be posted. This is really fun for those daily, maybe warm-up activities or exit tickets. I can plan a whole bunch of them. Set the day and time I want them to be released, and then they'll be posted to the classroom for me. So it's a great teacher time saver and allows us to be able to think ahead because you know, as soon as you post something at 9 o'clock at night when we're working, one of your kids is going to have the notifications set and they're going to be on that Google Classroom that night having the work completed before they even come to school the next day. So definitely scheduling is your best friend. And you'll also see that there is the opportunity to be able to post it as a draft if you're not quite done creating this. So I'm going to go ahead and post it. And what that's going to look like is simply this in the Google Classroom. Should they wear the school uniforms? What is your opinion? I've got a link here. What the students will be able to do is they can add a class comment. They can add something to the discussion. This is a really nice way to practice those academic discussions. I'm going to post something very short. Now, what you'll notice here is I would have a conversation with my students about, hey, this is really important that, you know, an academic conversation is a fuller conversation. It's not single words. It's helpful to the learning, all those different pieces. Let's say, though, that Trish was a student that perhaps, you know, we need to delete, we need to take out that comment. I have that opportunity. Now, you'll also see my sample student didn't say something so great. So here I have a student that thinks it's maybe funny, having a little bit of a hard time with some class discussions here. A couple of things that you can do right away if this happens to you. Just note that I can immediately delete the comment so that it's no longer viewable in the Google Classroom. And also I can mute that particular student so that they're unable to continue the discussion and continue to, you know, take over in a negative way our class discussion, and it doesn't affect the posting and commenting ability of anybody else in the class. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that and have a little conversation with my student. That's it for the stream for your basic posting. Now also note that there's this lovely hidden little button on the right hand side where you can actually reuse an announcement from a previous Google Classroom. So all of your Google Classrooms will be listed. You can go ahead and you can select it. It'll automatically filter for announcements. I can choose it from a previous Google Classroom, even if it's not the new version, and reuse it. And then I still have the opportunity to be able to edit it, add different materials to it, choose who's going to get that before I actually have to post it. So that's it. That's the stream. Now, what's really nice is Classwork is no longer going to be messed up in this stream when we're searching and trying to find it. That's going to be beautifully organized in our next lesson.